Well, let's get you more updates on the bomb threat that was received on an IndiGo flight, which had to make emergency evacuation after the threat was known. The flight was on its way to Varanasi from the national capital, and the passengers were asked immediately to evacuate, to deboard the plane. Those, in fact, are the visuals on your screens of what was transpiring inside the flight and how the rescue operation or the evacuation took place. Those on your screens are two visuals, one from inside the flight and one from outside. You can see how the passengers were deboarding the plane. It was an emergency exit for the passengers after the bomb threat information was received. Well, you saw how the emergency evacuation took place. This flight was on its way to Varanasi. That's when all of a sudden you hear the alarm in the flight. Bomb threat was received, and as a precautionary measure, the passengers were asked to deboard the plane immediately. You can also hear the passengers there. Once the news came in and once you heard the alarms go off there inside the flight, there was, of course, an atmosphere of fear and panic that gripped the passengers. We have Sabyasachi joining us live on the broadcast with more on this. Sabyasachi, first of all, tell us more about this bomb threat received, and as of now, what do we know about it?
Well, absolutely. From the sources, what we are picking is that the IndiGo Airlines has received a bomb threat email, and after that the SOPs were followed immediately. The passengers were evacuated from the flight through the emergency exit, and the slides were open. The captain had announced that because of security concerns, they have to deboard all the passengers who were present inside the flight. As soon as the passengers were deboarded, the CISF officials had reached the spot. They started checking the flight as well as the luggages of the passengers who were present inside, and also the aircraft has been taken to an isolation bay where the SOPs will be followed and a thorough check will be done by the officials. And regarding this, more details are awaited from the authority, but the passengers have been safely taken inside the terminal. After that, more details would be shared with the passengers who were present inside the flight. Meanwhile, the aircraft is currently present in the isolation bay where the thorough checkup of the aircraft is going on.
Right. In fact, we're also being told that the CISF currently scanning the bags of the passengers. Sabyasachi, tell us more about the details as far as what transpired. In the visuals, we can see that the air hostess is making an announcement for the passengers to evacuate. When did they get to know that there was a bomb threat as far as this flight is concerned?
Well, absolutely. See, as far as the boarding was completed, soon after the captain announced that because of security concerns, they have to make an emergency landing, and the passengers have to deboard the flight. And after then, the air hostesses which was present inside, they asked all the passengers to exit the aircraft as soon as possible. They were also maintaining that there was no chaos inside the aircraft during the emergency exit. The first priority was to safely evacuate all the passengers, after which the CISF officials immediately reached, and they started checking the aircraft thoroughly. They also scanned the cabin luggages of the passengers, and after which the aircraft have been taken to the isolation bay for a thorough checkup by the officials.
Absolutely. Let's describe these visuals for a bit there. On one hand, you see the inside visuals of the flight. A state of panic gripped the passengers when the alarms went off, when they were asked to immediately evacuate. And here the air hostess as well continuously asking the passengers to evacuate. On the other hand, you see visuals of how passengers sitting near the emergency exit were helped by the staff, the crew, to deboard the plane. And then you see the officials arriving on the spot as well. Like Sabyasachi was pointing out, the flight was then taken to an isolated bay where the CISF officials immediately reached. We are now being told that the bomb disposal squad is also at the site to ensure that nothing goes wrong. On the other hand, these visuals tell you what happened. The early morning scare on this IndiGo flight was a 5 a.m. flight that was supposed to take off, and the destination was Varanasi. Before it could take off, once the boarding was complete, the passengers got to know about the bomb threat, and at the moment the CISF is scanning the bags of the passengers as well. We have aviation expert Vipul Saxena joining us in the broadcast. Vipul Saxena, visuals tell us a story of how, there was fear that gripped the passengers, and anybody would in fact be really scared in such a situation. At the moment, what we know is that the CISF is going through the bags of the passengers and trying to ascertain as to who's responsible for this call.
I don't know how the bag will tell who is responsible for this call. The call has to be traced by other authorities. But yes, if there is a threat call has been made, the aircraft has to be checked thoroughly. And rather, I would say that not only checking here on the bags, it should be taken to the emergency bay, and complete rummaging of the aircraft should be done before it is released, unless the threat has been found hoax.
Absolutely. I believe that will take some time to confirm whether that was a hoax or something is found on the flight. But can you also help us understand, the protocol that is followed in such a situation?
Yeah. So that's what I said. I covered the protocol only. That unless the call has been found hoax, the process is that the bags are checked, passenger evacuated, and the aircraft is taken to the emergency bay. There is a separate bay where this aircraft has to be checked. And then all this bomb threat team and all, they all come, and they do complete checkup of the aircraft.
Even before the flight takes off, when it is being readied for the next flight, one second, sir, please stay on with us. We have our colleague, Mr. Ranga, joining us on the broadcast. He, in fact, was on the plane, and he has sent us these visuals. Early morning scare there, Ranga, as far as this bomb threat is concerned.
Yes, there are like tense moments in this IndiGo flight 6211, which is from Delhi to Varanasi. It's supposed to take off at 5 a.m. today, and suddenly the pilot announces like there is a security threat and we need to deboard the flight, and immediately emergency evacuation happened. The visuals you are witnessing, like elderly people with infants in their hands, jumping out of the plane, scared out of bomb threat. The CISF is now saying you need to scan your luggage, and they've all locked us in their 4 buses. I'll just show you the visuals of the buses. These buses are standing here, and they're just not allowing anyone to get out of the bus. And since 1.5 hours, like they're stranded in this bus, there are some angry passengers with me. I just talk to them. Sir, tell me.
is a total irresponsible behavior of IndiGo Airlines. There is no senior official from them has turned up and explained what is the actual problem. We have been locked up in the bus for last 2 hours on the sake of asking for the baggage check and all. Nothing has been served to us. No food, no drink, no water. Kids are there, ladies are there, senior citizens are there. It's a very, very responsible behavior of IndiGo Airlines. We need someone to come and talk to us.
ये 5:05 पे ये फ्लाइट डिपार्ट होनी थी और उस समय से जब से इवैक्यूएट कराया 2.5 घंटे से ऊपर होने को है। अभी तक किसी सीनियर ऑफिशियल के यहाँ पे आए नहीं है, लोगों का हाल नहीं पूछा जा रहा है। 2.5 घंटे से यहाँ पे लेडीज हैं, बुजुर्ग लोग हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, उनके नाश्ते की व्यवस्था या उनके वॉशरूम जाने की व्यवस्था ये सब कोई नहीं देख रहा है और अभी भी एक्चुअल टाइम कुछ नहीं पता है कि ये प्रोसेस कितना लंबा चलेगा और कब तक चलेगा और आगे लोगों को और भी अपनी कनेक्टिंग फ्लाइट पकड़नी है, उसके लिए भी किसी तरह की कोई हमारे पास इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है। एक मैसेज फ्लैश हुआ है कि 8:15 बजे ये नेक्स्ट फ्लाइट हमें प्रोवाइड करेंगे, बट स्टिल वी आर इन डायलेमा वेदर वी विल गेट दैट फ्लाइट और नॉट एंड द टाइमिंग्स आर स्टिल we are not clear with the timings of departing this flight.
Like you see, there are infants on the board and they're still in this bus waiting any help from IndiGo Airlines, and they're just waiting in the bus. They're like elderly people who are injured. There are elderly people who are injured. There are people frustrated, passengers. There are injuries. So all these chaotic scenes in the
They
bus.
have not even arranged first aid for last 2 hours. They request us to take us to the terminal building. At least we can sit and relax with them. They have been locked up in the bus for last 2 hours without water and without food.
Okay, like you see, these are the scenes right now in this bus. We're still waiting for IndiGo management or someone from IndiGo to come out and say what's the real situation.
So since 2 hours you're saying nobody from the IndiGo airline, none of their staff members spoke to the passengers about the latest situation?
I can't get you.
I'm asking you whether anybody from the IndiGo Airlines, any of their staff members spoke to the passengers to update you about the situation, to offer you some refreshments.
No. There are no IndiGo staff who are here. Only CISF took over this investigation, I think. They have all asked us to submit our hand baggage, luggage to them, and I think they are scanning them.
So no update. Passengers have been left stranded in the bus for 2 hours now with no update on what is going to happen, and the passengers not even being taken back to the terminal building. Okay, I think we've lost that line. We'll try and connect again with Ranga, our colleague who was inside the flight, who shot these visuals. 5 a.m. flight. Passengers had boarded the flight. The boarding was complete. That's when the captain made the announcement that there was a bomb threat and the passengers were asked to evacuate immediately. And like Ranga is telling us, ever since then, they've been asked to board a bus and have been made to wait. It's been 2 hours since that, and no help has been offered by the airline staff. No food, no refreshment, and they're not even being taken back to the terminal building. Some passengers are injured, some have infants with them. No help whatsoever being provided by the airline staff at the moment, while the CISF does the checking is going over the passengers' luggage, is going through the security and safety measures to be followed inside the flight. No help being offered to the passengers who are stranded in the bus waiting for the last 2 hours for an update at least on what's going to happen next. These are exclusive visuals that we are getting of the evacuation that happened, and after which the passengers were asked to board these buses. They've been waiting inside these buses for the last 2 hours. We'll get you the latest. We'll connect with Ranga again. For the moment, we're taking a short break.